Tenerife 2020. Is it time to give up hope? With so much uncertainty in the mainstream and social media about whether we can take flights and holidays to our favourite destination this summer, it makes you wonder whether it's worth bothering at all. There's news of us getting there and not being let in and denied entry. There's also reports about us being quarantined for 2 weeks when we get there and also when we get back. What is the truth? We want to know. Well, today we're going to go live over to the island of Tenerife to speak to Tim Dowd, podcaster and also local resident on the island of Tenerife. He's been digging into it further for us to give us some updates. They're also on phase 3 today. He's going to update us on that and what's happening as well. Now, also, I've got a special surprise for you today because you can now get a Tenerife Let's Go 2020 departure board t-shirt. All the links are in the description below for this. You can get that for a limited time only. Now, before we dive in, also don't forget to like, subscribe, click that little bell for notifications of when I upload new videos. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Now, without further ado, let's go. Tim, hello.
Hey, how's it going, Lee?
It's good, right? Thank you, it's good. Now, I have got some questions for you, obviously. One of them, you know what the questions are going to be because the title's always the same with my with my videos at the moment.
And my answers are always from the government.
There we go. So we've got facts, but we're going to wait for that one because I've got quite a few other questions for you, if that's all right.
Yeah, no problem. Let's wig it. Okay,
first one's an easy one. What is the weather like there in Tenerife?
It is beautiful. I wish you could all be here, but it's gone a little bit cooler now. Having said that, it's been quite warm the past couple of weeks and a bit hazy. And on Friday last week, we had a downpour. So I think you might have seen some of the Facebook Lives. I've got bloody flies all over my place now. There's Facebook Lives. We had a real torrential downpour in the south, but it only lasted, I think, maybe not even an hour, I don't think. But it was 2 hours on the south coast, all in all. And after that, everything got a bit crisper. You know, like a wonderful spring day on the coast of North Wales. That's what it's like. We got a breeze going on, sunshine, quite clear. I think you can still see La Gomera. I don't know if you can see it behind me.
Yes, I can, yeah, just about.
Okay. So the weather's been pretty good. We're on the 3rd floor, so it's a little bit windy here. You may be able to see from the flapping of the...
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that blue sky.
But it's not too bad. But it's not too bad. Yeah, it's lovely blue sky. Yeah, so the weather's good, but it's probably around about 22 in the shade. Oh, I lie, 24.
Yeah, okay, let's move on to the next question now, Tim. How many cases have there been in Tenerife this week of COVID-19? What's the exact figure? Because I know that you do an excellent update on your podcast.
Well, I go to this website, which is like an interactive website where you can go in and press the Canary Islands, then you can press the island itself, so Tenerife. You can even drill down to municipality. So I did a couple of those today. Basically, Janet Anscombe also does a summary, so I'm going to read you her summary if that's okay. Thank you, Janet Anscombe. She also does a podcast with Cleo, so you can get the link off Lee there. So Sanidad's figures for 8 p.m. last night show that 3 more cases recorded in the Canary Islands. Not bad.
Not bad.
There's a total of all-time cases to 2,358 on all of the islands. Thankfully, I have no further fatalities, and the total deaths remain at 160 for the 5th consecutive day. Recoveries are up 17 to 2,013, and our active cases are down to 185. Of that figure, 153 are being treated at home, 32 are in hospital, 5 in the ICU. The island figures show that Tenerife has 1,490 cases. 1,490 cases, Gran Canaria 589, and La Palma 99. So basically, we got 1,500 cases, which is 3 times more than Gran Canaria, and the rest is spread out. There might be some new information coming in. Yes, there is. Okay, so what's today?
Monday the 8th of June, isn't it, today?
The 8th of June, okay. So we got Sanidad's figures for 8 p.m. last night show 4 more cases recorded in the Canary Islands, bringing total to 2,376. Again, we have no fatalities to record, which means that our total remains at 161, and that's the past 11 days since May 27th. We have only 1 fatality in these islands, the whole of the islands. Recoveries remain at 2,078, and so our active cases are up slightly, 137. Of those, 109 are being treated at home, 28 in hospital, 5 in ICU. Currently, 95 patients are being tested after displaying symptoms which could indicate COVID-19, but they will be added to the list should the test be positive. Now, that's the difference that's been happening now. As what we used to test people that came in and were ill. And now we've been able to test people that just show symptoms. So if you've got a bit of a cough, or you've lost your taste, or your sense of smell's gone funny, then we're testing those now. So it's given us the chance to maybe get things early. At the moment, none of those tests have been positive, though, I don't think.
Okay. So my next question is, what's the general feel of people over there? Are they still worried about the virus, or are they more relaxed?
You've got 2 types of people. You've got the types of people, the vulnerable types, that are still worried about it. It's mostly older people, or people like Christina, who's got a reduced immune system. And they're still wary, but they're not scared. They just say I don't have to go out and mingle with people if I don't have to.
Yeah.
And then you got people who say, it's all over, and, no problems, mate, and we just put a mask on when we go in a shop, there's no bother. But I think they're just getting back to normal now.
Yeah.
So the general feeling is of people who are healthy are, if we're going to get it, we'd have got it by now, and it's all over in the Canary Islands.
Okay, and now my next question is, you're now in phase 3 on Tenerife.
Yes.
From today?
Yes. From today, we're allowed to do lots more stuff.
That's what I'm going to ask you. So what does it actually entail?
I actually got the list and got it in English, so I can tell you guys. All photos. Here we go. Turn it sideways. Can I see it then? Right. So phase 3, everything is permitted in phase 2, plus small businesses and shops are now able to open up with 50% capacity. So I think before it wasn't allowed that the small businesses could open, but now they're allowed to open with 50% capacity. Meetings in social groups of up to 20 people now. In restaurants, food and drinks can be consumed at the bar, maintaining a 2-meter social distance, and the terraces are going up to 75%. Clubs can open up to 30% capacity, and the use of a dance floor is not permitted. But I have some information on that at the end as well. Time slots for exercise are completely removed now, so there's no specific time where you can go out and do exercise. Communal areas of hotels and tourist accommodations can now be opened up to 50% capacity. So that's your restaurants, bars, pool areas and stuff. Some visits to care homes are permitted. The active and nature tourism activities with groups of up to 30 people, so going on a rambling walk in the Anagua Mountains, or going up towards Teide, or into the forests, that's now allowed with groups of up to 30 people. And they are actually saying that it has to be organised. It can't just be 30 people get together. There's got to be some sort of route and reason. Zoos and aquariums can now open to 50% capacity, but I think they're also they have to have in place a lot of sanitary stations, one-way systems, one in, one out, that type of thing. Wakes can now be held with a maximum of 50 people, so we weren't allowed to go to a funeral up until today. So now you're allowed to actually physically go up to 50 people to a wake. and only if they're outdoors, and 25 people if they're held in closed spaces. Burials and cremations is restricted to 50 people totally. Places of worship are allowed 75% capacity. Use of masks is currently still continues to be obligatory, but as I said, it's only where you cannot guarantee a 2 meter distance, and only in public places. You don't have to wear your mask if you sat on the table with somebody in a bar. Up to 50% capacity of stalls in street markets. Now, I think when I say street market, people are going to think of the markets down in Los Cristianos.
Yeah.
But that's not the street market they're talking about. They're talking about the street markets we get in Alcalá and San Juan, which are the fruit and veg markets and some clothes and stuff. So they're allowed now to open to 50% capacity. Outdoor shows and concerts can be held with a maximum of 800 seated spectators, again with social distancing. Shows and sports activities in closed spaces are authorised only for practicing sports in which there is no contact or the risk of contagion is moderate. The public will be limited to one person for every 20 square metres. That's 5 by 4.
5 by 4.
5 by 4. So matches may be held with a maximum of 1/3 of capacity, always guaranteeing safety separation between spectators, as well as outdoor sports activities, so like football matches and team games. Gyms are open with a maximum capacity of 1/3, but you can't use the changing rooms. That means you've got to get ready before you go and you shower when you get home. Weddings, maximum 150 guests in open air spaces, 75 enclosed. Museums, cinemas, theatres and expositions can open up to 50% now. But again, lots of safety mechanisms, and the social distancing has to be included there. And movement between the provinces of the same autonomous community is permitted. Now, the autonomous communities in Spain are like states, okay, like Canary Islands. And the provinces, like in the Canary Islands, we have 2 provinces of the autonomous community. One is Santa Cruz, the other is La Palma. So we can now go anywhere within our area. So we can go to El Hierro, we can go to La Gomera. What's the other one? The other one's La Palma, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. I'll just go back then to the nightclubs. Ángel Torres, the president of the Canary Islands, has actually come out yesterday on this and said that he is not going to open nightclubs in phase 3, even though he's allowed to open at 30%, because he doesn't feel like it would serve any purpose for the Canary Islands to open nightclubs. Basically, because you're not here, I think.
Yeah.
But that also shows that he is now in charge. Because what phase 3 actually did was give all the power back to the autonomous communities, where we've been actually being dictated to from Madrid over the emergency. Yeah. And now that we are taking our own way. So you may hear reports about Benidorm or the Balearic Islands or the Costa del Sol, and that will not necessarily mean that we are doing the same. So if you're looking at going to Spain for holidays, look at the specific autonomous community that you're going to make sure that those safeguards are in effect. And Ángel has always said he loves tourists to come back. He's going to open up as soon as physically possible, but only when it's safe.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, that brings me to my next question. Non-alcoholic beer, by the way, that is, isn't it?
It's Monday afternoon. Who drinks Monday afternoons?
Me, actually. Only when
I've got to drive later.
You recorded a podcast, which I heard yesterday. I'm reading this off my notes, with one of your local bar owners, Jill and David from the Monte Cristo. By the way, I'll put the link in the description below to this podcast. From your interview, what is the local feeling of bar owners there? Are they positive about things moving back, or are they looking forward to the Brits coming back over and the Europeans and the rest of the world, holidaymakers, to hit the island again?
Well, if you've got a bar that is 99% tourist driven, then you want tourists back as soon as possible. So those people are hoping and praying that things are going to be okay, and that those people are going to be coming back and passing their bar, and they have an offer that you will not be able to refuse. Talking to David and Jill yesterday, they were saying, looking at the reality of the situation, and not only whether people are allowed to come back, but also people who are deciding to holiday at home this year, who are deciding not to get on a plane, who are deciding not to go, or maybe just foregoing their summer holiday this year because they can't afford it, because they've been on furlough, Yeah. So what he's saying is he doesn't really see the tourists getting back up to the way it was until next summer. It doesn't mean to say that tourists are banned. It just means to say that he thinks it's going to be a long slog for us to get back to where we were. And also, he said, only because he had savings has he survived. So if you listen to the podcast, he does explain that all his money's gone, and all the help of the government and all that really didn't do much for him. It's his own savings that did it. So if you're a bar that was living hand to mouth, then you're in trouble.
Well, I mean, interestingly enough, I mean, I looked at the figures on some of my videos, and the Tenerife views went, obviously the later ones have got quite a lot, but the ones where I'm running around Tenerife looking at different bars, they've reduced. But the ones that have increased a lot are the Blackpool, Whitby, Scarborough, Skegness, all the local videos. And I thought, that's strange. The viewing figures have gone up on those. So it's people looking at holiday and local, so that is actually quite interesting. But anyway, for more of that, the link's in the description below. It's a really interesting podcast that to listen to, so click on that and have a listen of that.
There is a little bit of audio somewhere in the middle that where there was a drill going on next door.
I get that. I've got that a lot, where they just start drilling.
I tried to fade it out with my super duper audio thing, but I couldn't work it out. But it's only if you listen to it on YouTube, there's a little countdown that tells you how many seconds are left of the drill. But
obviously, work going on there, which is good, which is a good sign.
Well, to tell you the truth, a lot of the bars are revamping. In fact, the bar next door to Monte Cristo only opened two weeks before the lockdown, so they've really had it bad. They're sort of like blossoming. Opening day never happened, so the official opening day didn't happen, and so they've spent a lot of time getting things ready for that. And the bar just further down was the Three Horseshoes, which is a sort of also it's a sports bar, karaoke bar, live music bar, big family thing. They're ripping things out and doing new stuff. So I think that when you do come back, you'll see an updated Tenerife.
Totally refurbished Tenerife.
Yes, sir.
So we're heading towards my big question now. Don't worry, not many more questions before, so don't speed forward because there are some more interesting questions along the way. We've got number 7. Do you think it's going to be dog eat dog with all the bars and restaurants when all this is over? Or do you think they'll all work together?
You know, I was thinking about it and I am no expert on this. Then this is on my own personal opinion, but I've been talking to a few other people. I think everybody is hoping that there's going to be some sort of community spirit to get people up and running. And I think the community spirit is going to be, don't go to your all-inclusive place, come out and support the local community. So I think that is going to be the community thing that people are saying. The message is, come to us and just sleep in your hotel, or do a self-catering, or do a 2 or 3 centre holiday. You know, maybe get a hotel in the north for a few days, see the sights and sounds of the city, come down to us for a week of sun, and then go back up to the northern coast for wandering in the rainforests, you know. So I think that's the thing. But each individual bar owner wants to get bums on their seats, you know.
Yeah.
So there will be a lot of competition there. You know, the other day we were talking about $1 a pint.
Yeah.
I think that some people might have to start doing that. So when we were saying it's going to be a new era where $1 a pint's going to go away, there's also going to be people who have to do things to get bums on seats. So it could be that there might be a bargain to be had.
No, even less than €1 pints.
I don't think they'll be giving it away because the. Okay.
Well, I'm sure. And anyway, when you get the €1 pint, you get that hungry, and you always end up buying the food anyway. So
That's true.
That's the idea behind it.
That's true.
Now, we've kind of covered this one, but I want the viewers to get involved in this. I want you to give me your comments in the description below on this. So listen carefully on this one. In your opinion, viewers, when this travel ban is lifted, do you think that people will come running back, or do you think you'll come running back, or do you think they'll choose to holiday in their own country for the rest of 2020? So I'm asking the viewers first, comments down below, and now I'm asking you, Tim.
Okay, I'll just wait for the typing to stop. I think that those people who have had holidays cancelled and have already rebooked for, let's say, December or next year, will just not come this summer. So if they had a holiday cancelled in June or July, and they're not going to be coming in August, September, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I think that those people will sort of, say, right, we've rebooked for next year, we'll do something else this summer. For those people who booked for August, September, there's always this cross your fingers, I hope it's going to happen. I don't think that they don't want to cancel. The airlines haven't cancelled. The hotels haven't cancelled. So I think those people, August, September wise, are still going to come. There might be a percentage of those people that say, look, I don't care whether it's not cancelled or not. I don't feel comfortable flying. But I think those will be in the minority. I think most people who can are able to come can come. I've also seen a lot of comments on your other videos that people are saying things aren't going to be open. Yeah. And I mentioned also in a comment that it depends what type of holiday you want. If you're coming over and you want to sleep late, have a beautiful breakfasty brunch, laze by the pool, walk out in the afternoon along the promenade, and maybe stop at a couple of watering holes on the way, find a beautiful restaurant in the evening, watch the sun go down to the sounds of smooth jazz, that's going to be doable. But if you're like drink till you drop, party in a club with dance music and kissing and cuddling and bubble parties, that might not come back as fast. So depending on what type of holiday you're looking for, we'll be able to supply you with, first of all, the weather. Secondly, the plethora of places to eat and drink. Thirdly, all renovated brand new hotels and apartments. And fourthly, the weather. And fifthly, the weather.
All I want is the weather and a beer and something nice to eat. The days of me bouncing around a nightclub floor are long gone, so that's fine for me. Right, obviously, this is my next question. Obviously, the Canary Islands are Spanish owned. How do you feel that the Spanish and Canary government have worked together, and who actually has the final say? If the Spanish government says it's okay to travel and the Canarian government says no, you can't travel, what actually happens and who has the most power?
Well, from what I've read, and there might be some political between the lines things here, but from what I've read is that Sanchez is given power back to the autonomous communities, which is the same power they had before, right? So, but he's keeping freedom of movement in his court at the moment. So I don't know. The answer is I don't know. It may be that the autonomous communities are able to add to that, but not take away. So if Sanchez says nobody's allowed into Spain, Canary Islands can't say, but you can come here. Right? Yeah. But Sanchez can say, you can come in if your country is at the same de-escalation level, and Canary Islands could say, oh no, we want you to be one ahead. They would never do that, but so you could only add to the law. You couldn't take away.
Right. Okay.
But the final answer is we're in charge.
The Canaries are in charge.
Canary Islands are in charge. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Now this brings me to question 10. Yes, question 10. And you know
question 10 is always the same.
It's always the same, but there is a few little different caveats in there that I'm going to put in.
Go on.
So, okay, the big question that I've been asking for weeks is, when can us Brits come back? Will it be July the 1st? There is talks of air bridges between countries on the same part of the curve. Is Britain going to be on the list? Is the 2-week quarantine going to be an issue? As we kind of know, it doesn't count, or I don't think it does anyway, don't quote me on this, if you come back through Ireland, apparently. Please enlighten us. Is there any source of information that is set in stone? Because nobody knows.
I know, and I don't know. To say the truth, I really don't know. I do know what I've read about air corridors being talked about between Germany and the Balearic Islands, because Mallorca is a massive sort of German destination. So, and also not all German cities were involved in those discussions. So it was only certain German cities. And Germany, as you know, is the same as Spain. They're all different states, and each state has their own government. So they've introduced in Germany also different laws at different levels. So Bavaria might be seen as a better bet than another one. I'm not going to play one against the other, but I know that those talks are going on. I know that talks were going on between Portugal and Britain. I know that talks have been going on between Britain and Spain, but I'd have no decision been made, I don't think.
I mean,
otherwise the Sun would have got hold of it. Sorry.
Yeah, don't mention the Sun newspaper. I mean, there is talk still, and there is hope for July the 1st. I see the hope of July the 1st fading at the moment with your 2-week quarantine back in the UK. Have you heard of this? If you travel back through Ireland, it doesn't count.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I only heard it from Andrew, and my take on that is, if you're thinking of getting round the quarantine, that's the problem.
Yeah, it is, I guess.
Okay, so any country that's thinking of getting around it,
I have to say this, by the way,
isn't safe.
I got a comment in the description saying, what this guy's statement about going through Ireland is stupid, he shouldn't be saying that. We never actually said, if this lady's watching, we never actually said you should do that.
No.
And again, I'm saying you shouldn't do that because it's flat in the law, isn't it, really, or whatever. So you shouldn't do it.
Well, it's not only that, but it's only common sense, isn't it? I mean, it's basically, if you're looking for a way to get around the rules instead of getting the figures down, then that's part of the problem.
So, do we give up hope for some of this?
No, you follow the fucking rules.
I might have to beat that bit out.
I didn't say the word.
No, I'll leave it in then. Do we give up hope for summer?
No. Yeah, I think that, as I said, August, September is going to be no problem. I think July is going to be no problem if between now and July the figures are better. A lot of things happen very, very quickly, and if you can get your figures down and they're believable, then I think the Canary Islands are really, really, really waiting for you guys to come back, because we've seen now the people are waiting now. The biggest problem we got is what happens to the hotels. If the hotels have to act now to find out how many people they're going to get in July, right? So they got like 3 weeks to act. They've got to employ people. They've got to train them up. They've got to get the people back that they had. They've got to... the way it happens here is that in the slow times, you can lay your people off and they're taking on the dole, and then you can build it back up again. But they're not going to invest in employing a load of people and then nobody comes. So something's got to happen in the next 3 weeks. And we will get tourists back. And if Britain wants to be a part of that, then all you got to do is follow the rules, get your figures down, and there should be no problem.
It's going to be, I personally think the next 3 weeks is going to be a decider. Obviously, we're going to find out a little bit more. I mean, I know that the Canary Islands want us back as much as we want to get back. My only concern would be, this isn't a question that's just off the cuff, not off of here, but what happens if you get the visitors back and then somebody has a case of COVID-19 in one of the hotels? It's all going to kick off again like it did when I came over in March.
Yeah, basically that's the reason that Uncle Torres is saying it's safety first. So even though we're hurting, even though we want you back, even though you're a major part of Tenerife South, he will not compromise to go back and create a second wave through irresponsible political decision making. So it's not to do with the people. It's not to do with the countries. It's not that Brits are banned. He says he doesn't want to have to lock down his people again. Not your people, not their people. He doesn't want to have to tell his people he acted too soon.
Understandably. I mean, otherwise there'd be probably a lot of people that would be upset over there and angry after they've been locked down and followed it so strictly. Way more strictly than we have done over here in the UK. So that would not be good.
Same as New Zealand. I mean, New Zealand were very, very strict. They're COVID free today.
They are. I saw that in the media today. Yeah, they're saying they could do it. So why can't we?
Yeah, and if you look at the latest Swedish figures,
is that not good?
No, it's on the rise again. So their laissez-faire sort of test probably isn't working.
Well, so what I've got out of today's interview with you then is don't give up hope. There's still hope. There's still hope for July if we behave ourselves.
It's in your hands. It's in your hands.
Yeah. So if we don't go, around in massive crowds and we adhere to all the rules, then there is still hope. So don't give up hope. There's still hope. Adhere to all the rules. I have been doing, and in the hope that we can get back. So that's where we are. Well, anyway, like I say, check out Tim's podcast because he does have. Are you doing any more? You've done the bar owner there. Have you got some more on the? You got some more on the horizon?
Next week is a friend of mine called Peter Quilty. He's a galloping gourmet, so he goes to villas where people rent a villa. He goes to the villa and he's the chef there, and he's an entertainer as well. He's a bit of a comedian, bit of a Jack the Lad, great golfer, and so he's a golfer. He used to own a bar just in Cayo Salvaje, a restaurant, sorry. And he's a radio personality as well here. And so he's a very interesting guy. So I'm going to interview him at the Monte Cristo on Wednesday. And I'm going to publish that on Sunday. So stay tuned for that one.
Excellent. Well, make sure you click on the links down below there because there are some excellent podcasts. And especially that one, I find it really interesting, actually, speaking to the bar owners. But
there was one guy as well that's he's a sort of a blogger or something. And I interviewed him as well.
Yeah, what was his name? I think it was the MacMaster, wasn't it? That was it.
That was him.
Yeah, with so many million views, apparently. So
I thought you were going to say $1 million then.
Yeah, I wish. Anyway, Tim, thank you very much. What we've got from today's vlog is don't give up hope. July, if we behave and we do as we're told, there's still hope. You're thinking more along the lines of maybe August, September, which is probably more realistic, but we shall see. Never give up hope. Anyway, thank you very much, Tim. Sounds like you got
my daughter calling from Germany.
Well, I will leave you to answer that call. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.
So there you go, Tim Dowd there. All his links are in the description below. As I say, he's got an excellent podcast and it will keep you updated on what's going on the island of Tenerife. I think the outcome of today's vlog is stay positive, never give up hope. If we are on the same level of the curve and we adhere to all the rules, July may be in our sights. Failing that, August, September. That's all from me today. Don't forget you can get your special departure board Let's Go Tenerife 2020 t-shirt in the description below. All the links will be in the description below there. Head over there and sport one of those. Get out there, get it out there. And if I see you out there in Tenerife wearing one of those, I'll buy you some pints. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, click that little bell for notifications of when I upload new videos. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, which is down there. And as I say, stay safe, stay positive, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.